Oh, hi! Welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good! And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good! Okay, well let's learn English together. And hello again, people. Welcome to Tuesday, the second day of the week and the second day of this mini revision session. And well, it's also the day after my sister's birthday, but well, I don't think she'd be too happy if I told you how old she is now. And besides, as my granny told me once, it's impolite to ask a lady her age. So, there we go. Sis, your secret is safe with me. Nobody will know that you're 2 years older than me, and even if they do, they won't know how old I am. Well, not unless they're able to add together the numbers 48 and 2. Oh, sorry. Right, let's get started. Maybe she's not watching. And listen, if any of you lot bump into her, then don't tell her that it was me, all right? Okay, on we go. It's time for the Tuesday installment of the mini revision week. Here we go. All right, so back to the exercises. We know that the mess of the sentence, I while swim steal someone clothes my, can be transformed into a perfect sentence using the past continuous in one clause and the past simple in another. Number 6. I while swim steal someone clothes my. While I was swimming, someone stole my clothes. All right, now what else have we got? Number 7. You beware. The two supermarket BI. Present perfect simple question, present perfect simple. Aha! Now this one features the present perfect simple twice. Once as a question and once as a positive sentence. Okay, so which word are we going to start with? Yes, that's right. Because we're asking a question, we have to start with the question word. So that means that we're going to start with the word. Where? And then what? Well, it's a question, isn't it? Yes. So that means that now we need the auxiliary verb, don't we? Yes, we make the present perfect simple with the verb to have plus the past participle of another verb. And when we want to ask a question with the present perfect simple, we have to lead with the auxiliary. So, have. Which form? Well, what's the subject? You, the second person singular. Then I have, you have. So where have? Okay, and what now? What follows the auxiliary verb? Yes, that's right, the subject. Where have you? Okay, and now what? Well, now we need the past participle of the main verb. And what's the main verb? The verb to be. Okay, so what's the past participle? Be, was, were, been. Okay, so that gives us where have you been? Number 7, where have you been? Okay, that's the question. What about the reply? What about the answer? What about the response? Well, the answer, the reply, the response is also in the present perfect simple, but this time it's not a question but a positive statement. So, start with the subject, and what's the subject here? Yes, it's the first person singular. And what follows the subject? The verb. Subject, verb, object. Okay, and what's the verb? It's the verb to be again. Okay, so what form of the auxiliary verb do we need? I have, yes, have. Okay, I have, and what about the past participle form, the third form of the verb? Be, was, were, been. I have been, I've been. Okay, fantastic. And what now? Well, now we finish the sentence by telling people where I've been. To the supermarket. Excellent. Let's see the whole thing. You beware, the two supermarket BI. Where have you been? I have been to the supermarket. Excellent. Now what? Number 8. 10 for years live I here, so live since you here 2008. Present perfect simple, present perfect simple. Aha! The present perfect simple again. A positive statement using the present perfect simple, followed by a positive sentence using the present perfect simple. Okay, so where are we going to start? Yes, that's right. We're going to start with the subject, the first person singular, I. It's a sentence about myself. Okay. And what follows the subject? Well, it's the present perfect simple. And that means that we need to follow the subject with the correctly conjugated form of the auxiliary verb we need when we're making sentences with the present perfect simple, the verb to have. Okay. And what is the correct conjugation for the verb to have in the first person singular? Have! Yes, I have. Okay, now what? Now we need the past participle of the main verb, don't we? Yes, jefe, that's right. And what's the verb? What's the main verb here? Yes, it's the verb to live. And what are the forms of the verb to live? Live, lived, lived. Yes, it's a regular verb, so the past simple form and the past participle are the same. Okay, so I have lived. Where? Where are we talking about? Here. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about here. I have lived here. Okay, and now what? Well, what do you think? I'm telling someone about the amount of time that I've lived here. We know that it's 10 years. We can see that. And what's the word we use to introduce a period of time? Yes, for plus a period of time. I waited for 10 minutes. I'll wait for 25 minutes, then I'll leave. I've been here for 10 weeks. Okay, so let's see the first part all together. Number 8, I've lived here for 10 years. Okay, and what about the next bit? Well, this time we're dealing with someone repeating the same information, aren't we? Yes, and that means that the sentence is going to be very similar to the one we've just seen. And which word are we going to start with? Yes, we're going to start with so, aren't we? Yes, we're going to start with so because so is a linking word which connects the two ideas. So links the second sentence to the idea we heard in the first sentence. Okay, then what? Well, then we need the subject, don't we? And now the subject is not the first person singular. I'm not speaking now, but someone else is speaking to me about me. So we need the second person singular, you. So we've got the subject, and that means that we also know what form of the auxiliary verb we need. And it's have, isn't it? Yes! You have or you've. Okay, so now what? Well, now we need the verb in the past participle form. And what's the verb again? To live. Live, lived, lived. You have lived. And now what? Now we're going to finish with the other way we know of talking about periods of time. When we're talking about a period of time, we use for plus the period of time. But when we know the start point of the time period, we use since plus the start of the time period. So that's what we need here. Let's see the whole thing. Number 8. 10 for years live I here, so live since you here 2008. I have lived here for 10 years. So you've lived here since 2008. Brilliant! Excellent! Well done. Okay, now take a deep breath and gird your loins. It's time for something new. Okay, we know about the present perfect, don't we? We know that we use the present perfect to talk about things which fit, broadly speaking, into 4 main categories. Do you all remember the categories? There was the idea of an event in the past with a result now. The idea of an event in the past which is important now. The idea of something which started in the past and continues until now. The idea of a recent or very recent event which is connected to the present. Okay, now today we're going to have a look at the present perfect again, but this time we're not going to concentrate on the present perfect simple, but the present perfect continuous. Now the present perfect continuous is still part of the present perfect, so we still use it in the same basic manner. We're talking about a situation where there is a connection between the past and now. We normally use the present perfect continuous when we're talking about something which has recently stopped or just stopped. We often use the present perfect continuous when we can see the results of something which happened in the recent past. When we can see the results of the past action in the present. Think about the following example. Is it raining? No, but the roads are wet. In that case, it has been raining. We can see the result of the fact that it was raining recently. The roads, the pavements are still wet. Obviously, the rain only stopped very recently, and we can see the evidence, the proof. The water on the ground shows us that it has been raining. Now, just think about using the present perfect simple in that example. It wouldn't work, really, would it? Well, it would and it wouldn't. If we use it on its own, then it would sound a bit strange. Is it raining? No, but the roads are wet. In that case, it has rained. Do you see what I mean? It has rained. It's a bit strange, isn't it? If we used it with just to show that we're talking about something in the recent past, then it's definitely better. Is it raining? No, but the roads are wet. In that case, it has just rained. But even with that one, it doesn't sound as good as when we use the continuous, does it? Is it raining? No, but the roads are wet. In that case, it has been raining. So, we use the present perfect continuous to talk about activities or events which started in the past but are still happening now, or activities or events which began in the past and have just stopped very recently. Now, we also have to pay attention to the fact that just as we can often make alternative sentences with identical meanings to sentences with the present perfect simple, we can often make sentences with the present perfect continuous, which we can also make with the present perfect simple. Think about these two sentences. I've been living in Budapest for 25 years. I've lived in Budapest for 25 years. Is there any real difference between the meanings of those sentences? Not really. For me, the fact that the present perfect simple is a simple tense, not a continuous one, implies or suggests that this is a more permanent situation, but that might just be me. Okay, so let's have a look at how we make the present perfect continuous. What is it that we need? Well, looking at the examples we've seen in the last few minutes, we can see that we form the present perfect continuous with the auxiliary verb have. The same as we do with the present perfect simple. But what else is there in the mix with this continuous tense? Well, there's something else here in the mix, isn't there? Yes, been. The present perfect continuous is formed with have plus been plus the ing form of a verb. Okay, well, all that means is that just as with the present perfect simple, we have to be careful of the conjugation. There are two forms of the verb to have, aren't there? Have and has. And as you all know, we use have for the vast majority of subjects. I have, you have, he, she, it has, we have, you have, they have. We use have for the first person singular, I have. We also use have for the second person singular, you have. And as we all remember, we use have for all of the plural forms, we, you, and they. We have, you have, and they have. The third person singular, he, she, and it, is the only subject which uses has. He has, she has, and it has. Okay, so we decided, depending on the subject, whether we need have or has, and then, well, after that, we add been and follow been with the ing form of the main verb in the sentence. And we'll have another look at it and practice some more in a couple of lessons' time. Yes! Time's up. And we're done. We're finished for the day. Yes, it's true, people. The lesson is slowly coming to a close, and that means that it's time for us to go our separate ways. I'm off home for a coffee, and, well, as for you lot, there must be some chores waiting for you to attend to, surely. So, hoover, dust, pack the dishwasher, empty the washing machine, hang the clothes out to dry, or fold the clothes and put them away. Find something to do, but make sure that the music's there in the background to help your mood. I'll see you all tomorrow for the third installment in this week of revision. See you later. See you tomorrow. www.mediaclick.hu. Bye!